Expand your mind and enrich your world. It's time for another outstanding podcast from ICRT. This is Taiwan Talk.
This is Taiwan Talk on ICRT.
The new film The Rice Bomber is a biopic about the man behind a series of bombings in Taipei between 2003 and 2004. That man, Yang Rumen, planted small explosives with a handful of rice thrown on top in public places around Taipei to attract the government's attention to the plight of local farmers after Taiwan joined the WTO in 2002. Only 2 bombs went off and no one was injured. Yang, who was dubbed the Rice Bomber by the media, eventually turned himself in and was sentenced to 7.5 years in jail, but still enjoyed broad public support as farmers and social activists rallied behind him. He was pardoned and released from prison after serving only 16 months in jail.
人总是太自信，太主观，以自己为出发点去衡量世界，有没有用同理心设身处地去考虑一下世上其他存在的人？孩童的高度所看见的世界和我们相同吗？在主流价值观以外的弱势族群，他们的生活条件够吗？他们的感受为何？社会是否公平赋予每个人平等的生存权？That
was actor Huang Jianwei playing Yang Rumen. The new film is premiering this week at the Berlin International Film Festival, after being selected for the festival's Panorama section. I caught up with the film's director, Zhua Li, at the Ocean Deep Production Company's offices in Taipei. Zhua Li, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, this is a really interesting topic that you've taken on, but I think some of our listeners might be questioning. Nobody was hurt in the actions that this man took, but they were violent acts, they were dangerous acts. Why has Yang Rumen received so much sympathy from the Taiwanese public? Why is this a story that has resonated with so many people in Taiwan?
First of all, I think because no one ever did what he did before in Taiwan, especially for young generation. And it's not like he tried to make himself a hero. It's like he tries to communicate with the government, but all in vain. And in the end, planting the bombs looked like the only way he can think of. And that kind of resonate with local people, local Taiwanese, who are not also very powerful, who are also just ordinary people. You know, sometimes we want the government or people who are much more powerful than us to do something or to listen to us, but all in vain. So he's kind of like...
He actually took action where other people didn't.
Yeah, and he speaks out for some people, definitely.
Well, you're also from Zhanghua County.
Yeah.
It's the same county that he grew up in. So I'm sure that this story speaks to you on a very personal level. Why is this a story that you wanted to tell?
Like most people have this kind of feelings that you love and hate your hometown at the same time. And it's like I'm one of it. And Zhanghua is known as agricultural city and also mafia city as well. And it's like since I was a child, I've seen and heard the dirty money policy from time to time. It's true. I thought the situation would change when time goes by, when the old generation fades away, and when we, the young, educated generation, grow up and strong enough to take over the world. I saw that, but it turns out some things will never change, and even worse, it's like some people transform to a status that you cannot even tell right from wrong. And Yang Rumen's story is so intriguing to me that if you read his book, which actually is the latest between him and a writer also from Zhanghua and live in Zhanghua now, also Miss Winning, you will find it's about time to talk about not just justice on the surface. It's about time to talk about the social system, the organization. Yeah, that's why I want to shoot this film. And imagine how ridiculous is that when you know a young man from a farming family who tried anything he could think of to communicate with the government about his opinions towards agriculture policy, but all in vain. And then the only way he could think of is to plant the harmless bombs to try to arouse the government's attention. And he did that for 17 times, and never get caught, despite the fact that there are 2 times he even tried to walk on purpose, under there's a monitor?
A closed circuit camera, yeah.
Yeah, he did that on purpose to tell the police, hey, yeah, it's me, come to get me, but never get caught. And in the end, he didn't know how to end the story except turning himself in. I don't know, I can write a script as good and yet as ridiculous as that.
I think for a lot of us foreigners that maybe aren't so close to this kind of story, when we think of big WTO deal, we think like, oh, the problem is that the price of rice is going to go down, there's going to be international competition. But when you talk about it, it sounds like there's actually a lot more going on at the local level than just international competition. What kind of stuff was going on in Changhua County that was so shocking to Yang Rumen?
It's like the government will force farmers to stop farming because we need import product from other country, because that's what WTO stands for. Fair, it says it's fair trade, but it's actually not, because we have this product we sell ourselves, but we have to stop that and we have to import from other country. So the first step the government will do is try to persuade and then to force local farmers to stop farming, and then they have no way to make living, right? But then they persuade them, you stop farming and we will give you some subsidies. Or maybe it's even better, you sell the land, you sell the field to someone who is more powerful, and then they will build the factories, they will build some buildings, and then the economic will grow. That
kind of thinking.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that there's anything about Yang Rumen's story that people in Taiwan maybe misunderstand, that maybe after watching your movie, maybe they'll understand a little bit better?
Yeah, I have that kind of confidence they will. Because the movie mainly focused on the plot before he started planting the bombs. And this story happened to, not so familiar to the audiences. Most audiences know his story after he started to plant the bombs, but they don't know what he had been through. I think to me that's the point of the story.
They can see what led to that decision.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but I just want him to have a fair chance to let the audiences understand what it had been through.
So your film is really interested in looking at how he went from being a rural farmer boy to becoming a revolutionary. You're kind of looking at his journey. And I think that you had one clip in the movie that really demonstrating a moment where he was maybe taking the next step in that journey. I was wondering if you could introduce this clip and then maybe we could listen to it real quick.
In this clip, we will see a very good friend of Yang Rumen, a girl nicknamed Troublemaker, who actually is a rich girl. Not just rich, but maybe more sophisticated, much more sophisticated than Yang Rumen. And they too have a quarrel in the car because Yang tries to persuade the girl to persuade her father not to do something really bad to the farmers.
And he's a powerful politician.
Yes, yes. But the girl, just showing some cynical faces and saying that, that's too naive. Because if it's not her father, someone else would do the same thing and maybe more dirty or worse. And that's the moment that forced him to do something, or at least to think something seriously.
All right, let's take a listen.
Yeah.
中华这个所在是种稻仔的所在，起工厂就是唔对嘛，乌白来嘛，是不是？
我懂啊，除非这个社会对农业问题达成共识，媒体会关心才有鬼。
我找人来开记者会，电视总会来吧？
台北那些记者，谁会真的关心整卡人的死活啊？你囡仔的哦。
我来去找农委会反映，安尼会使吧？
你嘛较拜托了，杨路门，你哪只高追啊？
And so then he does take some actions. He starts like writing letters and trying to do all these different things, but he gets frustrated with that. Is that right?
Yes. It's like he moved from Zhanghua, a rural city, to Keelung, the north part of Taiwan, with his father and his younger brother. And that time he already decided to do something, but not planting the bombs at first. He tries to he write letters to the press, and he visited the Council of Agriculture, but all in vain. And it's like he tries to follow the formal procedure, the peaceful procedure to communicate, but all in vain. And it turns out like, should I need to do something big? Then the government will pay attention to my petition. I'm not saying he's forced to do this. I'm saying he's not a terrorist from the very beginning. He's not, or a psycho, an outsider of the social system from the very beginning. It's like he becomes this kind of person gradually. I mean, a person who decided to do something real, who he thinks people should not just talk but should act.
So in the media coverage that this story got, there wasn't a lot about who this guy was, who Yang Rumen was. Mm-hmm. What is there about this character that really interested you?
Or I should say, what he surprised me most actually is his extreme ability of independent thinking and self-study. He dropped out from technical high school. Yeah, he's obviously not well educated, but maybe he's not being taught much from the school. But he reads books. He feels daily life. He's that kind of person who enjoys his life, who enjoys himself as an independent human being. You can just feel, because actually I talked with him for many times, and yeah, you'll be surprised by his passion towards life.
You feel like he's always thinking about something or really excited about what's in front of him? Is that the feeling you got?
Yeah, both.
So I think a lot of people in your audience are not from a rural area, and so they probably don't have very much experience with a lot of the things that you're going to be showing in this movie. What are you hoping that some of those people will see in this movie that they maybe haven't seen before?
First of all, to me, being a farmer doesn't necessarily mean ignorant and backwards. And it's 2014 now. I think one should try at least think different. That's the first step. And second of all, the scene in the countryside in this movie, in The Rice Bomber, is so unbelievably amazing. And to me, that's just as unbelievable as Yang Rumen. I think even local audiences will be overwhelmed by the beauty of the scenes. You don't have to agree with what Yang Rumen did, if no matter how you still think planting the bombs is just not right. But I want to say that please kindly ask yourself, what have you done to your hometown, to your country? Or let's downsize the question, what dreams do you have? And have you ever tried hard to realize your dreams, no matter how many obstacles lying on the way? That's what I want to show I want to show the audiences through his story. Yeah.
Well, Zhuo Li, thanks so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much, Keith. It's my pleasure.
We've been speaking to director Zhuo Li about her new film, The Rice Bomber, opening in Taiwan April 4th. Thanks for tuning into Taiwan Talk. You can let us know what you thought about today's show by leaving a comment on our Facebook page or by rating and reviewing the program on iTunes. This helps us bring you the kinds of programs you want to hear, and it helps other people discover the show. For ICRT, I'm Keith Menconi.